we haven't solved equations in a little while, about a week. This is just going to be a review because we are going to take a quiz on this tomorrow, solving equations, one-step equations with just integers. So we're not going to have anything with fractions. The only time you're going to see anything on the quiz tomorrow that looks like a fraction would be something like this right here. But we're not going to treat this as a fraction. This just means what? It means division, right? So it means c divided by 10. So we don't have to worry about that as a fraction as far as the quiz goes tomorrow. All right, what two things are we going to do before we start solving any of these equations? There's two things we're going to do to remind ourselves of some things. What's one, Alonzo? The line of equality. So this line right here through the equal sign is a reminder that whatever we do on one side of that line, we have to do on the other. Okay. Also keep in mind that as we solve the equation, every equal sign that we get is going to be on that line. So when we write our answer, the equal sign in our answer should be on that line. All right, what's the other thing? We're going to circle the variable. This is a reminder that we want to get the variable by itself. We want to get that a by itself so we can figure out what the value of a is. All right, so to get a by itself, what do we need to get rid of? The 7. And how are we going to get rid of that 7? So we're going to add 7. By adding 7 here, that's going to cancel out the minus 7. Okay, but if I add 7 on one side of the equal sign, I'm going to have to add 7 on the other side. All right, so we add 7 over there. And the 7s are going to cancel each other out, which leaves what on the left side? A all by itself. And on the right side, we have negative 10 plus 7. Now, earlier in the year, we were asking you to do this without a calculator. I still think you should try to do this without a calculator first, just to get your practice, make sure that you're keeping your mind sharp. But you are allowed to use a calculator now that you've taken that quiz over the operations on integers. So when we do negative 10 plus 7, let's do it without a calculator. Let's think about what's going to happen. We have a negative and a positive, right? So when we have a negative and a positive, are those going to combine or are they going to cancel? They're going to cancel because one's positive, one's negative, right? When they cancel, we're going to subtract. 10 minus 7 is 3, right? And is that going to be a positive 3 or negative 3? Why is it negative? Because the negative 10 is bigger. Moving on then, I'll get it started here. We already said we're going to do this for all of them. So we're going to circle the variable because we want to get that by itself. We're going to draw the line of equality to remind ourselves that whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we have to get rid of what here? The 593. And what are we going to have to do to get rid of that? Subtract it. So minus 593 and minus 593. Remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. I was trying to be careful here when I did this so that our 1s are lined up, our 10s are lined up, our 100s are lined up. So it should make the subtraction pretty easy for us, I think. I'll simplify the right side since that's where we have the canceling going on. So those are going to cancel, leaving what on the right side? B. And on the left side, we'll subtract. Starting in the 1's place, what's 4 minus 3? Okay, what's 5 minus 9? Can't do it, so we're going to borrow. We'll make that 800 into a 700 and make that 50 into a 150, or 15. 15 minus 9 is 6, and 7 minus 5 is 2. Is that a positive 261 or negative 261? Positive. Why? So the bigger number was positive there. All right, moving on. We want to get C by itself in this one. So what do I need to get rid of to get C by itself? The 10. And how am I going to get rid of this 10 here? We're going to multiply. So that means C divided by 10. Fraction, remember, means division. So we're going to multiply by 10. And then we multiply by 10 on the other side also. If you want to make sure this doesn't look like it's subtraction here, because this kind of looks like 10 minus 5, doesn't it? If you want, you can put these in parentheses to show it's multiplication, but you don't need to do that, as long as you keep it straight in your head. What's going to happen over here on the right side with the 10s? They cancel, leaving what? C. And then on the left side, we have a positive 10 times a negative 5. So do we do 10 minus 5? No, we're still doing 10 times 5, which is 50. But then since one of them was negative, it's going to be a negative 50. All right, so remember when you're multiplying, if one of the numbers is positive and one of them is negative, the answer is always going to be negative. Okay, it doesn't matter which number is bigger when you're multiplying. All right, last one. We want to get the d by itself. So what do we have to get rid of? Got to get rid of that 5 by doing what? We're going to divide. So since the 5 is right next to the d, that means multiplication, right? So to get rid of it, we're going to divide. Remember, we'll show division using the fraction because that's going to be the simplest way to do it and the easiest thing to read for us. So we divide by 5 on both sides. The 5's cancel, leaving what on the left? D. And on the right side, like I said, you could use a calculator, but let's do it without. Let's do 135 divided by 5 with some long division. Does 5 go into 1?
No.
No. So does 5 go into 13? Yes. How many times does 5 go into 13? 2. All right. So then 2 times 5 is 10. We do 13 minus 10 and get 3, and then bring that 5 down to get 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times, and it's 7 times evenly, right? We know it's exactly 7 times, so I'm not going to go through and show that we get a remainder of 0. We know it's going to be 0, right? So where do I put that 27? Yeah, I need to put it over here in my answer, so it's d equals 27. Is that a positive 27 or a negative 27? Positive, right? There are no negatives in here, so nothing to make us think that it would be negative.